Hello everyone. So today we are covering the 5 common contract clauses. So I did a blog and a video earlier this year on this topic and it was pretty popular. So I decided to do 5 more clauses because every big contract has way too many clauses in it. Before I dive in, if you have any questions about this topic or you want to set up a consultation, please visit us at carboneattorneys.com. We have a button at the top of our website. Just click it, fill it out, and we'll get back to you as soon as possible. So 5 common contract clauses. Let's dig in here. So the first one I want to cover is a waiver clause or a no waiver clause. It depends on how the wording is in the contract. But what this clause does is it basically says if either party has ever waived any provision in the contract or any specific term in the contract, that doesn't mean that they waive all future occurrences of that individual waiver. So let's use an example. Let's say there's a breach and one party says, look, you've breached, but it's okay if you cure it within 5 days. Let's use a residential lease. So you didn't pay rent on time and the landlord says, all right, no problem. I'm not going to evict you. Just pay the rent and maybe a minor late fee and you're fine. So this waiver clause covers this type of situation. So in the future, if you're late again or you don't pay rent, it doesn't mean that you're free from all of the consequences of failing to pay rent. In that situation. Next common clause is a force majeure clause. This was a very popular clause when COVID-19 first impacted this country. So what this clause does is it says there are some circumstances outside of our control, whether it be a natural occurrence like a tornado or a hurricane or war or some crazy incident, that if it occurs, it excuses the parties from performing exactly as they were meant to under the contract. So here's an example. You're supposed to have a party at a building and you sign a contract and the whole building burns to the ground. What force majeure clauses in this situation will do is it'll either say, when the building is rebuilt, we can have the party once again, or, most commonly the contract is canceled and the parties deal with, the ramifications of the burned down building, however they may. The next clause is an assignment clause. So this is common in lease agreements as well. So you might see something that says no assignments or subleases without prior written approval of the landlord. Now, an assignment is essentially you're giving away your rights or actions in a contract to another party. You signed a 1-year lease and you want to get out and someone takes your place and they take over the lease. That would be an assignment. Or if it's short term, maybe it's just a month or something like that, that would be more like a sublease. But we're talking about assignments here. So you're basically assigning away all of your rights in the contract to another party. And both parties are able to do this in most types of contracts. Next, we have a notices clause. So some contracts require the parties to give notice to each other, whether it's a notice of breach or a notice of some other circumstance. This clause will cover how and to who the notice will be given. So, an email is fine, or a fax is fine, or only certified mail is allowed under these circumstances. And here are the addresses that the notice must be sent to. It's pretty straightforward. These are easy clauses. Finally, another common contract clause is a choice of venue clause. So in my previous post, we talked about choice of law clauses. A choice of law clause, to refresh your memory, will really just say, this contract is governed by the laws of the state of New York. That's a choice of law clause. A choice of venue is where will you sue if you sue under the contract. These clauses might say something like, any suit may be brought in a state or federal court in the state of New York. That's like the most common language that you'll see in these types of clauses. So that's it. Those are 5 more common contract clauses. So now if you've read both of my blogs, you know at least 10 at this point, and I'll probably do more of these in the future because there's just a lot of common clauses that you'll find in contracts. We call them boilerplate clauses. So that's it. That's everything. If you like this, if you want to see more, please like, subscribe, double tap, and I'll keep making these.